Just how much can a hobby change in 10 years? After a decade being here, today we're going back in time and we're going to see just how well does my very first FPV gear stack up to today's standard. It's not going to be digital, it's not going to be ELRS. We are talking the very first protocols on the market and the beginning of a hobby that would change thousands of people's lives. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today get ready for a blast from the past because I got a crazy email. It kicked off this video, but we are going to go for a fly. This right here is the very first radio I ever bought for FPV. This was about 10 years ago, 2015, 2016. This is the FreeSky Tyrannus. I think it's called like the X9D Plus, but I'll have to Google. I'll put it on the screen as well. We're going to be taking that for a spin. If you have a look at these goggles right here, these are my Fat Shark Attitudes. I think they were called the V3s, maybe the V2s. Like, they don't even do DVR. We're gonna have to find another way to show you that to you. They didn't come with a faceplate. Like I've put this is all aftermarket, and they only received 8 channels. And we're gonna also throw in a bit of a tiny whoop for a little bit of fun as well. And the thing that kicked this off, I got an email from hobbyking, and that's where I bought my gear from like 10 years ago. I didn't even know hobbyking was still in business, and they were like, Stu, we've got some batteries, can you fly them? And I thought, yeah, I can, but I wanna go back in time, fly hobbyking's old batteries with these right here and hold trusty radio and bring you on an experience on what it's like to actually go back in time and fly today's FPV gear and answer a really serious question. Just how much fun is it? Like, do you always need the latest and greatest stuff, or is this stuff still as fun as ever? Is the essence of FPV really all we need? So let's put all this together and then bring you on a flight, and we're gonna see. I'm a little bit nervous. Is it good, or is it just nostalgia that's making me excited for it? All right, let's do it in 3, 2, 1. We're back in time now. I want you to pretend it's like 2016 or something. None of the mod cons, like not even a scroll wheel on this bad boy. We've got the Tyrannus. My buttons popped off a long time ago. So if I want to cycle through something, what I would have to do, you go out to the field and you're like, yeah, let me just change some of those settings. So we'd use a stick to go up and down. I don't know why the speaker's not working. And when these are on my face, something that is pretty cool is because these goggles were so light, we would actually just have a little battery, and these can only run at 2S as well, which is kind of crazy. The range you would get on this compared to today's ELRS radios, this was abysmal. It sort of moved into crossfire. If you want to go long range, crossfire is still relevant today, but I don't know anybody who would fly around FreeSky. And I think when we started, it might have been PPM as well, before it went to S-Bus, before it went to RX and TX and Edge and ELRS. Like, it was kind of crazy what we were flying with, but it was so much fun. Awesome radio, and I think it might have been like $200 or $300, it like wasn't cheap either, so we've done that. I'm going to plug these in. Now, we will be talking about these batteries in just a little bit as well, because I promised that I'd talk about these. I think those batteries are good. And I knew a lot of people that blew their goggles up because they just would put like a 3S. That's all it would take, like a 3S battery for a split second. There was no voltage protection or anything. Now, if I look through here, the field of view isn't terrible, but it is in a 4x3, which is almost unheard of in today's everyday flying. Some racers do like that, but for most of the goggles we get 16x9 as our option. The diopters down the bottom, they're okay, and it doesn't really fit my face too well. Like if you look at this, you've got some big pieces of glued in foam. We had to make it work. Whatever you did, it wasn't nearly as nice as what we've got today. And I think these originally came as like a pair of goggles that had like little suction caps that would stick onto your eyes, and it would get extremely foggy as well. It wasn't until I got this aftermarket custom Fat Shark faceplate that you had a little fan mod. Like that's how early this was. And of course, no DVR or anything like that. If you wanted to get DVR, you needed to do that on an external source, and that's what we've got today. I'm going to show you the DVR from my little Sky Zone screen right here. This is a modern one. We never had anything like this. When I first wanted to do my DVR, I'll see if I can put some pictures on the screen, I would have to take my work laptop down to the field and connect like up a whole bunch of different wires, and it was terrible, but I still absolutely loved it. And I think that's the important thing I hope you get from today. You can still have an amazing time with some of the gear that you've got. Now I've got to get this SD card sorted. And I should mention too, the Tiny Hawk it did come out a few years after this. Like, this wasn't my first drone, but I don't have my first working drone anymore. It's a little bit sad. Okay, look at this. We've got some DVR. But what you're going to have to remember when I'm flying around, this is on 25 milliwatts. We have one antenna here. You never got good reception. I should probably have a better antenna that's actually sticking up. Let me just fix that now, actually. And when we started as well, a lot of us didn't even fly with like a circular polarized antenna. It was just these things. So some little stick antennas on here. Okay, this should be good. Am I going to be able to arm? We can arm. Let's do it. We should be recording the DVR. Let me just double check. Lucky I checked because it wasn't, but there we go. We are now recording on this. Let's do it. We're going back in time. The colors look really warm when I'm seeing what I can see on the screen in these goggles. It might look different on what it's recording on, but here we go. Let's arm this. Of course, one big thing I'll notice, a huge difference. I look a lot older, fatter, and less handsome in 2025 as we did almost in 2015. But anyway, let's go for a flight here. I can't see all the screen. And okay, we're away. Now, we are only on 25 milliwatts, so the reception, I'm already starting to get a few little bits of breakup. I didn't know anyone who flew around on 25 milliwatts. And again, you only get 8 channels on here as well. So you really had to decide what sort of VTX are you going to get, and it was a little bit painful if you wanted to fly with other people as well, because you might run out of channels and bands very quickly depending on what sort of environment you were flying around in. Now, I'm going to tell you straight away, just on a flight experience, it's still amazing. Like, to think that I'm flying around this gear that is close to 10 years old, it's still working. I know I've put new batteries in and everything like that, but these goggles, like, it's just such cool technology that we get to have, and we have come so far when it comes to FPV, and in some ways it's like we haven't changed at all. Like, this is still a really, really fun flight experience. And you know, they often say that, I'm sure there's some saying, like, it's not about the destination, it's about the friends we made along the way. And that's how I feel about FPV as well. When I look back, the things that I hold most dear out of everything in FPV, it really is just flying around with my friends. Like, if you put this in the comments, have you been watching when Grumpy Trev used to be on the channel? Flying around with him, one of my best friends, through FPV as well. Like, we've done so many flights, and even though we don't live near each other, I'm just very grateful for all the people I've been able to connect with and have a good time. And it was with gear like this. You don't need the best gear to have the best time. To have the best time, I'm going to say it's really the people that you fly with. So let's see if I can get some little like speedy laps in here. The radio feels fine. Like, I do notice maybe a little bit of like latency in terms of stick input, possibly, but it still feels smooth. It's got some ratchets on there, which we don't have nowadays as well. And something that is probably a little bit different over what you're seeing. Oh, I don't know what that beep means, but that might be a voltage warning. No, I don't know. We didn't get OSDs, so you had to just like put a timer on your radio. I don't know what that beep is. I don't want to have a look. I'm sort of enjoying this. It's just God, I love FPV. Can I do a flip? Woo! Oh, those rates. It also feels pretty loose on the sticks as well, actually. But you know what? After doing this for like, what, 2 minutes, you would forget you had these goggles. Like, you would forget that these were 10 years old. I'm used to it. I'd still take these over any box goggles that are out there. I mean, they're not perfect, 8 channels, no DVR, but God, it's just such a cool hobby. Like, I love this hobby. Okay, I'm gonna bring this in. I'm getting a low battery warning. 3.5 minutes of flight time. That's probably pretty standard. It's actually holding that low battery really, really well. Maybe I should keep flying till it falls out of the sky. Let's do a bit of a range test. Have I crashed? Has that thing flipped over?
The
screen?
Yeah.
Can you flip it up?
Yep, sure.
Oh no. Okay, we've got a problem here. Here's my problem. When I decided to do a range test, it wasn't that we ran out of range, which we did, but it's that it ran out of battery, like the furthest away that I've flown. So now I'm feeling very lazy. Let me go get it, then we'll come back. Got it back. You know, things are a bit harder nowadays in my old age to go and get it, but I want to make this point really clear. This started out as like a battery video, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some old gear, because hobbyking, that's who I first ordered from 10 years ago. And I guess it kind of morphed into just talking about having a good time. Like, do you remember the fun memories you have with FPV? If you've just gotten in today, there has never been a better time to start. But if you've been flying around for a long time, you will know that the best things about FPV, usually the experiences you have to go along with it. So you don't need the best gear. And even this, that's right, my very first radio, my very first Fat Shark pair of goggles that young Mr. UAVfutures used to feel so cool with in the park, cruising around, some awesome people like Grumpy Trev, Crash Test Cal, like the whole crew down there. It's just such a vibe. I really like it. Now, I guess here's the official part of this video, which sort of kicked this off. In terms of these Bolt batteries from hobbyking, I'm going to link them down below. There's some things I like about small batteries, and also some things about these ones specifically that I don't like. So in terms of like high voltage, like we're charging this. So I've got one charging this, I was charging these as well. I should say powering it. High voltage is great for small little crafts, like flying around that tiny hawk and stuff. I think having a 1S is great on high voltage. I've got no issues with it. And the beauty is they're cheap. So if they break, you can easily replace them. I think the things they could do to improve though, is if you look at this, if I was going to put this on, say, my Lightning, this cord, when every gram counts, for me and our sort of FPV flying on the little craft, like this is 300 milliamps, this cable, it's way too big, hobbyking, so you do need to change that. Other than that, like, I don't know what to say. I got some okay flight times out of them. They've been fine so far. I have done a couple of packs on them. There's a whole bunch of different connectors. I'll link them all as well, but like BT2. We're using some really old school connectors, batteries. I don't know what more I can say about it. Go check them out and say, hey, thanks hobbyking for sending to Stu to do this video, but maybe make the cords a bit shorter. That's all. It's crazy too to think that hobbyking is still here after 10 years. So that's, that part for me is what I wanted to try, because that is a blast from the past. And I remember Grumpy Trev, he used to fly around Bolt batteries back in the day, and I think he even bought them from a place possibly called Bolt RC. I don't even know if that still exists anymore. Anyway, what I want you to do right now is just let me know what's your favorite flight experience. How long have you been flying FPV? What does it mean to you? Because it was a bit of a surreal moment cruising these around, and kind of left me a little bit speechless. Like, I got a lot to reflect on. But anyway.